They'll take the kudos from winning this mini derby.
It was a great finish by Lacroix. He'll be wrapped with that. That's great for his confidence.
His pre-season's been outstanding, so it's just good to know he's up and going again.
Yes, that's right. Footy's back. West Coast are back. And you better believe our favourite All-Australian small forward, the pocket rocket Mark Lacroix, is back, shaking off 510 days of cobwebs. Thanks very much for his first game. Good that he got through unscathed. My name's Steve Bandy. I'm going to be your host for the first ever West Coast Eagles podcast. Get around us, get excited. Before I get stuck into NAB Cup results, a little more going on in the program. We're going to be covering the list changes for 2013, what's been happening over the pre-season and off-season, and having a chat to the Turbo, Jeremy McGovern, about his pre-season form and NAB Cup appearance. But I've got a few introductions to make. We've got just an all-star lineup for the entire season of this podcast. Without further ado, I'll begin with the 78-game defender out of Geelong. Some would say a bit of an Adam Hunter in training with his new swingman capabilities. Absolutely stiffed for goal of the year in 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll for Will Schofield.
Thank you. Good to be here. I'm excited.
Any radio experience whatsoever?
Yeah, I've listened to it a little bit in the car. It's been good. Yeah, I'm experienced.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you're all over it and capable of handling the job. A bit of eagle vision for yourself, so getting the media star certainly out there.
Yeah, I have been in the media, which has been fun, and it's why I got involved with this with you, Stephen. I'm raring to go. It's been a long off season. I've been preparing for a long time for this.
Yeah, sleepless nights. That's the way to say it. But I do have a man that's pretty revved up, raring to go. Not far behind him with 73 games of experience for the Melbourne Demons. Picked 4 in the 07 national draft, so could play a bit in his junior day. He was an under-18 All-Australian, but more importantly, captained the first 18 at Hale School. What an accolade.
Wow.
No premiership medal, but easily the most popular and exciting of the 3 Morton brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, Cale Morton joins us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Woo. Yeah. Bit of media experience for you as well, Cale?
Yeah, a little bit. I've done my own radio show in Melbourne for a couple of years, but I had to lie about that just so I could get closer to you guys. You know what? It's all a big lie, guys. But thanks for having me here.
SEN or...
Nah, Joy FM.
Oh, yeah.
Joy.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience, and hopefully I learnt some valuable things that I can contribute to this show.
More than the 3 listeners that we'll probably end up having?
Yeah, mate. Well, if we get 3, then that's probably double. So, look, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good year ahead for not only the West Coast Eagles, but for our show. I think we're on to something special here.
Look, not only are the 3 of us just pumped and jumping out of our skins, but I think the entire playing list is eagerly awaiting, the kick-off of this show. And
eagerly?
Yeah, do you like that?
Yeah,
yeah. I've actually written that down. I underlined it, thanks for noticing. But, before we kick off the very first episode of Squawk Talk, let's get around the board.
Welcome to Squawk Talk, the radio show that gives you inside access into the footy club. Featuring Eagles superstars Dean Cox,
Cale and Scully. First of all, who are they? What are they going to talk about that's going to be of interest? And who really gives a rat's clacker about anything that they have to say?
Luke Shuey.
I'd almost prefer to listen to Nick Nat Nui tell me about how much money he's on and listen to these 2 skinny muppets.
Scott Selwood.
I'd almost prefer to listen to a Fremantle show than listen to these 2.
And Eric McKenzie.
I really don't mind them, to be honest.
Yeah, real kind words from the boys there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's good to hear what the boys have really got to say about us, because it's not often we run into them in the hallways and they actually tell us face to face what they think of us.
Correct.
No, it's great to hear from Coxie there. That's actually the first time I've heard him speak to me this whole year, so it was great.
What a time for it to happen.
Yeah, I know. I actually was pretty surprised you were on the lineup for today's show.
Yeah, well, look, I had to take some time out of my busy schedule to make it in, but look, hopefully we can get things flying.
So we're happy with Squawk Talk? We're happy with the title?
Nah, it's terrible.
Happy's not really a word I'd be using. I've got a few ideas of my own.
Is that right?
To be honest.
Uh-huh. Well, I haven't heard too many of them, so it took me about 2 weeks to think up that one.
Yeah, well, if you're going to be honest, it's taken you 10 seconds to come up with Squawk Talk.
It has.
And I've come up one, and we've been using it for a little while through different circles, mainly playing Call of Duty online.
This is terrible. Why you bring this up?
Well, I think it's a good name for the radio station. It's not station, for the show. It's called Eagles Death Crew.
How on earth is that? Are we going to get that over the line? How are you going to how are you going to promote that to kids? You just head out to the local primary school, be like, "Hey, listen to the Eagles Death Crew, kids."
It's aggressive. It's provocative.
It's overly aggressive.
We can play a bit of Slipknot online. Online.
Yeah. No,
I'm sure we can get the rights to play that. We've just played Red Hot Chili Peppers on the intro. Got Flea playing.
Now, admit, did your missus actually think that was Flea playing the intro after I joked that Flea got us to play?
She wondered in his big day out schedule how Flea managed to squeeze. We'll call it Squawk Talk, but Eagles Death Crew into his schedule.
He was back up against the wall, and we got him in.
Just one of the big names, one of the many that we're going to get on for the year.
One of the many.
Look, before we keep talking a lot of gaff, like it seems to be getting off track, I want to go to the off-season now. A lot of boys, some opt for the end-of-season trip, some don't. Some get straight into training, like I think you did, Cale, Morton.
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a different off-season for me personally. I was traded, so I said my goodbyes on the Melbourne footy trip, and then I resumed training with the rehab group at Melbourne, and then I was called up, and the trade happened. So I flew over to Perth and had another couple of weeks off before starting pre-season for the second time with West Coast.
Now, Will Schofield, without going into too much detail, there was an end-of-season footy trip, and then some players went their own separate ways. Can you give us a bit about the different holidays boys had?
There was a few different directions, and I seem to be going on a few of them. There was an American trip that a few boys went on, went from right through from the west coast to the east coast of America. I know a few guys went to Europe, and I was also one of those. So I got to 4 continents, I think, in about 4 weeks myself. But I know a few boys went to Japan.
Yeah.
Which, by all reports, a very, very nice destination.
But a few boys ended up being stuck in New York. About half the squad, it sounded like, for Hurricane Sandy. Any stories come out of that?
Yeah, well, I know Luke Shuey, Scott Selwood, were forced to cuddle each other for warmth on several nights. That is a true story.
It sounds fair income true. Look, Sharrod Wellingham, our new recruit, also caught, and he had this is what he had to do for food, really fending for himself.
Well, we actually brought that package of supplies to the hotel. We looked a bit embarrassed coming in with 10 packets of 2-minute noodles and 5 packets of Pringles.
Gee, I tell you what, I think Hilly had a bit of sympathy for the boys stuck in New York. He must have been on the survival package diet of the 2-minute noodles and Pringles, because he's come back quite overweight this pre-season, old Hilly, and he won our Pudgiest Player Award. So a round of applause for Hilly.
Yeah, fair title. Fair title.
Well done,
Will
Hilly.
Schofield, what about other bodies coming back in good/bad shape? Have you got anyone for us?
Well, he'd be struggling to come back in better shape than Mort's. He's just come back looking like an absolute...
My body is my temple.
Well, it's obvious. I can tell. It was interesting. Andrew Gaff had a nice little tweet response from one of our loyal fans. I know there's been a lot of controversy over the peptide use. I know it's very harsh. I mean, a hard topic to broach.
Yeah,
but
probably not for the Eagles Death Crew in episode number 1.
Yeah. But Gaffy had one of the supporters say that clearly West Coast aren't using any illegal substances such as peptides. Just have a look at Gaffy's biceps and his gun show.
Burn. And Andrew did see that tweet, and I think is
that's a low blow.
Yeah, Gaffy asked for a fair go.
Yeah, I don't think he was quite happy with it. Loyal fan, as you did say. Look, there was, obviously, with every season that comes and goes, there are going to be a number of list changes that come about, and there are a few changes with the West Coast Eagles outfit. All right, so I guess I'll kick it off with our departures, and probably none more prominent than the 2006 Premiership player, life member of the club, Lynchy, going to the Pies. Scully, big loss.
Big loss. I've got, on all our departures, I've just taken a moment out of my busy schedule to...
The COD schedule?
Yeah. To say something about each of them.
Okay, we'll go nuts. Yeah. What do you got for
Lynchy? So, what I loved about Lynchy was his ability to make a contest. He just hit the packs and he always got there. What I didn't love about Lynchy was his ability to clear a room within seconds. Smelly man.
Just the one match for young Indigenous forward Jerrick Whedon. Didn't quite kick off for him at West Coast, but will be sadly missed.
Yeah, he's one of the best tacklers I've seen probably in my 7 years at the club, to be really honest.
Also registering just the one game for the club, small forward, one of the, I think the smallest player in the AFL, but the heart was certainly far that size, Ryan Neitz.
Yeah, Neitsy, quickest little person alive. And that's politically correct?
I think so. I think Hamsey is now a little person. We've had to we've refrained from
Okay, good. We'll keep that in line. But he was unfortunately also one of the hairiest little people alive. Get in the showers with him, he's clogging up the drains with little fur balls. It's like a little cat running around the club.
11 games for the hard-nosed on-baller Kobe Stevens, heading to the Doggies.
Self-proclaimed nickname of Cobra, Kobe, Cobra Stevens. He was a very, very hard-running midfielder, and he was also in and under, hit the contest, never shied away from a contest. Unfortunately, he was never shy enough not to tell everyone about how he'd been going on the weekends, and I used to love and hate Kobe's summary of how his weekend had gone on and off the field.
I suppose it's tough to compare to your video game weekend as well, William. 13 games as a key forward, West Perth boy Andrew Strike.
Stridgy, the lovable man.
Well said. Well said.
He was a penetrating kick on the field, and he was a real line breaker with his running and carrying. I'm not going to miss the South Korean national anthem playing in the locker rooms after most games.
Proud man.
Sarcastic or not, he was actually the first Asian to play for the West Coast Eagles.
Is that right?
Club's history.
Oh, what a stat.
Look it up.
Look, you don't get too many 34-game retirees, but Tommy Swift going in the medicine direction, the midfielder.
Swifty. I've got a real bone to pick with this one. Swifty copped a lot of flack from our loyal supporters. Used to give it to him on the field, and I think in the end it probably got to him. Swifty used to love pre-season. I miss his hard-working ethic around the club. What I'm not going to miss is the time he put into his mane of hair early last year. He had a comb, he had mirrors on each side of the lockers. It was disgusting. I'm not going to miss that about him.
Sounds completely true. Obviously, Anton Hamp, Callum Papertalk from the rookie list, no longer with us. Carl Morton, obviously, you just couldn't add a thing there, being that you weren't here at the club.
No, I didn't know too many of them, but I tell you what, it sounded like a bit of a eulogy when he started there with Lynchy. But let's remember, he's still alive and kicking, and hopefully he doesn't play too good a footy for the Magpies, but all the best to all of them.
So I've decided to throw you a bone and say, well, why don't we get you just saying the arrivals of the club and the same sort of format as that one. Why don't we kick it off with, probably the most talented youngster I've seen in some time from the Demons, an absolute steal trading away pick 88, which I don't think they ended up using. Carl Morton, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, look, mate, if you're trading shares, you're getting good value. Up 84 points, as they say. So, pick 4 to pick 88. That's what more upside can you get for your dollar there. But look, hopefully I can have a good year this year, and I'm looking forward to playing.
Well said. 92-game premiership mid. You're not going to knock them back too often. Sharrod Wellingham joins the club. Not going to kick it off from the start, but obviously a good recruit.
Yeah, just slick in all departments, Sharrod. On and off the field. He loves his fashion. He dresses very well, spends a lot of money on clothes, and he certainly plays very fast, very slick, and he's going to add a lot to the team. 16 games for the Saints. Another WA boy happy to return home is midfielder Jamie Cripps. Yeah, Cripps just a good old-fashioned bogan, really. He, from Northampton in the north. Comes from a bit of a farming background, wears shocking kits, wife beaters and you name it, double pluggers. But he's very fast. He'll add a lot of pace to the side this year, and look forward to seeing him out there in the wide expanses of Patterson Stadium.
Sounds like you're well versed in bogan apparel, mate.
I know, all about it, mate.
As a Hale School prodigy, I'm quite disgusted to hear that, Cale. Now we go with the draftees. Started at pick 45, the mobile big man, Brant College. Roaming around up forward.
Yeah, Brant's a big boy. He's one of those guys who's got the body ready for AFL. He had hip surgery earlier on in the pre-season, so he's got to get himself right from that. And when he gets fit, I'm sure he's going to play some good footy in the waffle and push for selection later on in the year.
Brilliant, absolutely. Pick number 59, went with a small midfielder and a fairly decent cricketer. I don't know if you've got a pasting in the warm-up room for him yet. I certainly have with my paltry medium pace. But Adam Carter.
Oh yeah, Tickets Carter. Yep. No, he loves himself, Carter. He's told us all about his cricket career and how well he did, how many wickets he took and all that. But yeah, look, he's a small guy. He's very quick. He'll probably play on the opposition small forwards, and hopefully he'll do a good job.
And finally, we got pick 60, inside midfielder, previously on the Saints list, on the rookie list there for a year. Had a pretty good game in the NAB Cup too, with a few clearances. Mark Hutchings joins the club.
Yeah, Hutch, very serious man, very intense, which is good for training. Look, one story about him. Someone came up to him at the community camp down in where were we? We were in Northam, and we were in Northam, and someone goes to Mark, and what's your name? And he goes, Hutchie. The guy goes, oh, okay, and moved on. I said, mate, you can't just say your name's Hutchie. You know, you're not this like bloody, you're not Pele.
Everyone's heard
Pele or Ronaldo, mate. Come on, you gotta play a couple of games first before we get moving.
Well said. But obviously, one of the biggest notes of the arrivals, got a lot of publicity, was Shower Wellingham, and he was thrilled to get his first game in the NAB Cup under his belt.
We had Coxie actually talking about you and the way you fitted into the club. He just said you've fitted in beautifully, and with your experience, really wrapped for you as well.
Yeah, it's been amazing. You know, he's probably been one of the guys made me feel most at home, which has been really good. So yeah, I'm grateful I made the transition. I'm missing all the guys and stuff, but yeah, it's good to be home.
Wellingham's had his first game for the club this week, which has been great. Looking to jumpstart his singing career with this disgusting clip we've found during the week.
You're the voice, try and understand it.
Oh wow, that was terrible, wasn't it?
A bit awkward.
Interesting stuff there.
Yeah, a little bit awkward. Look, boys, we're going to move on to the next phase of the show. I want to talk a bit about pre-season. A lot of people out there don't know exactly what an Eagles pre-season entails. Will Schofield, yours was a bit different to Cale. Tell me what date everyone kicked off, and tell me about the remote group and everyone not joining each other at the same time.
It seems like a long way away. I think it was around 18th of November we started up. It was hot.
Yeah,
that's about as descriptive as I'm going to get. We had the sports scientists doing some good work for us behind closed doors, and they came up with altitude wasn't as effective as training in the heat, so we moved training into the hottest part of the day and made training maybe 10 degrees hotter.
Excellent.
Great fun.
Now, we don't do pre-season at Patterson Stadium until we get to a certain time in January. Where are we training before that?
We've been training at McGillivray Oval, and it's a good venue for us, but it's quite windy. So although it makes it hard training during the week, skills are sometimes down a little. It means that when you get into situations like Telstra Dome, Etihad Stadium, that kicking becomes a little better.
Yeah, look, I actually did some research into this because it was so windy. I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was over in New York with Hurricane Sandy. Anyway, I googled it. Turns out Perth is the third windiest city in the world.
Chicago number one.
And so we're training at McGillivray Oval, in the gale force winds and that. It's probably only going to be good for our kicking when we get into Patterson Stadium.
Cale Morton, while I got you, I want you to explain a little bit about the marquee sessions that West Coast do. Do Melbourne do anything like it? And try and define it for everyone listening.
Yeah, look, it's really unique to West Coast, I guess. I've never seen it at any other club or heard of it. But look, it really is, I guess, the biggest session you can have. We have two marquee sessions each pre-season, and we had one the last day before Christmas, which went for about 3 or 4 hours of just grueling training, pushing ourselves to the limits. And then we have one pretty much the last day of the pre-season, at the end of January, and that's more match simulation, more like a match. So they are arguably the hardest sessions I've ever done, and they probably simulate a game, really.
Beautiful work. Now, give me the story about the harsh string conditions before we wrap this up.
Yeah, I wasn't a happy man, but it was done to test us. We came in at half-time with one of the marquee sessions, and it was never said who it was, but it was Woosha. Like, no one ever said who it was, but Woosha did it. He left the drinks out in 40-degree heat for 5 hours. And we came in at half-time.
Percolating.
And, someone may as well have been pouring it out a kettle. And there was some angry heads, and I was number one angry.
Very interesting pre-season. Also great to hear a lot of players running their personal best times for the time trials ahead. So it should be a fantastic start for round one. We're going to take a quick break and get stuck into the NAB Cup straight after this.
Yep, unfortunately, those two Muppets are back at it again. Don't miss the Eagles online panel show returning again in 2013. Viewers will receive in-depth analysis of the upcoming match and season overall by logging on to westcoasteagles.com.au every Friday afternoon for all the action.
Welcome back to Squawk Talk, podcast with an absolute appalling name that we're trying to find.
Eagles Death Crow.
Look, NAB Cup is back. It was just so exciting to see footy return in sweltering conditions, but, mixed bag of results. We got West Coast v Geelong, obviously the first game. West Coast, one super goal, 6 goals, 247 to Geelong, one super and pretty critical goal in the dying seconds to just nudge out West Coast, 6 goal, 449. And prevailing against Freo, doesn't matter when you beat them, you're always going to be happy with one super goal, 4 goals, 740 to absolute donut super goal, 2 goals, 416. Boys, general feeling amongst the playing group to have footy back. Cale Morton had to sit it out, real close to playing apparently.
Unfortunately, last session, just clipped the hurdle on the way over, fell over at the last hurdle. But anyway, look, it was good to watch. The way the boys played was great. It was good for everyone to get out there after a long pre-season, get into action, and no better way to start the season than by beating Freo.
Will Schofield, a host of names out for him, of course. Bo Waters, JK, Coxie, Dick, Kerr, Natanui, Rosa, Butler, McGinnity, almost half your team right there. How good was it to see the young blokes coming through?
Yeah, really good. I think we had something like 10 players out from our regular 22 last year, and I was excited, watching it. Being in the back line, you get a fair view of what's happening up the field, and I thought a few boys through the midfield went really well. You mentioned Hutchie earlier on in the show, and even Adam Carter down back. Thought he was really clean, skillful stuff.
Yeah, well, without your dominant two ruckman, I thought Scotty Lycett played well, real presented well up forward as well, and Woosha had these comments for him post-game.
Yeah, really pleased. Yeah. Showed he's still very, very young, but as he keeps maturing, he's going to take a lot of contested marks and he's going to ruck really well. Regardless of Nick, this NAB Cup's great for Scott as part of his development. He's going to ruck against some AFL ruckmen. And
I want to get your thoughts on the rules that have been implemented from NAB Cup. You never know when they're going to switch them over without you knowing, but we had the last disposal out of bounds is obviously they want to keep this free-flowing mentality of the game and try and negate the threat of the ball-ups.
I like it. I think it keeps the game going. As a backman, if you know the rule, you just pressure the forward, get him out, you get a free kick.
Is this just a selfish defence? Get it in there for yourself?
Definitely.
Way to think of your other 21 teammates.
Oh, well, there's 6 defenders.
That's right. 20... Yeah. I can't do the math. Cale Morton, goal umpires making decisions on the weekend.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Didn't see much of it, but look, it's always good to have a few more sets of eyes on the play, I guess.
Anything more to add?
Yeah, look, something I found really funny on the weekend. I was rocking up to the game, obviously as a spectator, and I'm walking past the gate and I see Shannon Hearn in line. And I said, "Bunger, aren't you meant to be playing?" And he goes, "Yeah, I bloody can't get in." Anyway, poor old Bunger got refused entry into the ground because he forgot his player pass. Old Shannon Hearn, our Shannon didn't get let in.
I heard he was asking the ticket collector, saying, "Don't you know who I am?"
Yeah, don't you know who I am?
I am Shannon Hearn.
Just an absolute stitch-up
show. I thought that was hilarious.
Just a stitch-up effort. We've got social media man Matthew Jett behind the mixing board.
I just want to throw it quickly to Will Schofield. I know he's got his bearded compatriot and Chris Maston. Did you ever listen to what the commentators had to say about him and his beard when he kicked that goal?
Well, with a beard, it's probably the best goal I've seen kicked with a beard like that for a long, long time. An absolute blinder, Colby, as I'll give you a handball.
That's come from Jared Healy, and it's probably come because I didn't kick a goal on the weekend. Because if I had kicked one, it would have been the best beard to kick a goal that day.
Set shot, you reckon you would have got over the line, or is Masto's goal not credible here of his snap round?
It was okay. It was okay. He's dribbled.
You were riding it right off before, just quietly.
Yeah, but I'm on air now, so I thought we'd just toned it down right.
Look, another interesting, commentary point on the weekend was the commentators really getting stuck into you and, a bit of favouritism toward the opposition.
Quickly on to Schofield. Schofield kicking. It was as if he was kicking to the hard-leading Geelong forward there, wasn't it? Coming out in Rivers.
You're not from Geelong, are you, mate?
It's funny, we didn't go through that in the pre-program plan, did we? Good old-fashioned stitch-up.
Snuck that one in.
We got the clip on Morts. Any bad clips on Morts?
Yeah, Cale Morton, it's an opportunity. He's stalled the last couple of years after a really bright start. So the challenge for him now is to break into what we believe is a pretty good side.
I never kicked a turnover.
Oh, right. Obviously searched high and low for clips. Gosh.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Jeremy McGovern in studio, live prime time.
Turbo.
And they're off.
Hello
Hello and welcome to the very first edition of Breno Bet. And our first look at the odds today, we'll be going to the men's trampolining at the Olympic events. We've got Long Do at 17 to 1. The favourite here, S. Wellingham, new recruit to the West Coast Eagles. If he lands it, could be a chance. Who knows? Our next odds, we'll be looking at Jeremy McGovern. Is he the one to overtake Quinton Lynch? $1.40 says yes. Are you going to be on? I say no. Join us next time for Breno Bets, where we'll give you the odds on Blaine the Train Wilson to deliver a knockout punch in Mandurah.
Breno's Best Bet, easily one of the most exciting segments that we're going to have on this show. But, enough of that bloke. Got a very exciting young forward joining us in the studio. Claremont Premiership player, 3rd year West Coast, very tall and well-built forward. Jeremy McGovern, welcome to the studio.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me. I'll throw the questions over to the boys. I'm sure they got plenty for you.
Yeah, number one episode of our lovely radio show here, and we've just got the big guns in. We've brought them from left, right and centre. We've had Flea playing guitar to start us off with, and now we've got Jeremy McGovern. Yeah. Thanks for coming, mate.
No worries.
I've got a few questions for you, Jez.
Yeah.
You ready to answer?
Yeah.
Okay. You've played deep forward, centre half forward, a little bit in the ruck, and some back last year for Claremont. Where do you see yourself most suited?
I don't know where I'd see myself most suited. I'd prefer to play down back, personally. Or I wish I was a ruckman. I'm not tall enough. But no, I prefer to play down back. But wherever the team need me, I'll stand up, hopefully.
Okay, and gun to your head, whose position do you take on in the Eagles' best 22?
With a gun to my head?
Yep. Right now, you got to kick someone out of the team, and why?
I don't know, probably.
Be ruthless.
I don't know. I'd have to kick Josh Kennedy out. I guess that's the position I'm going for. So him or Jack Darling.
And because of your looks, or?
Yeah, obviously, because I'm better looking bloke than Jack and Josh. But nah, definitely one of those two.
Nice. Speaking of your looks, mate, we hear you've been hit up a bit on Facebook after the game. How you going with the ladies?
Nah, I haven't been hit up at all. I've probably gone down, if anything, after my game. But no, I'm going. I guess not as good as you two.
Unfortunately, I was sitting in the crowd on the weekend, but I did see a particular goal celebration that raised a few eyebrows. Now, you saluted the crowd.
Yeah, he saluted the crowd. Albany boy, come up, played in the Premiership for Claremont last year.
Is this a sign of things to come? Have you got a few more celebrations?
Maybe talk us through it a little bit.
No, it was just a bit of a joke between me and some Albany mates. So luckily, I kicked a goal last year. I didn't kick my goal. I had an opportunity to kick, but no, it was a bit of a salute to the Albany boys.
I thought you had 2 goals. What happened with the second goal?
I don't know. I don't know what the umpire was thinking, to be honest. It was definitely a goal.
I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here, mate. You told me a story a little while ago about last year's NAB Cup and you set shot for goal. Do you want to just talk me through why you were so nervous and what you were thinking about when you're going through for your first set shot at goal?
Yeah, I probably wasn't thinking too much. I was very, very nervous, and I never think about it ever, but I was thinking about just not kicking into the man of the mark, so I gave myself a good 100 metres, which was good. And then, when I was just running into goal, all I was thinking is I just want to kick it, get out of the way, and I kicked it, and I was just stoked that I got
Didn't you kick it on the full?
No, I was closer on the full, but I was just
happy to make contact.
I was just stoked that I got it out of the way, and it was, even though I missed, but.
Mate, your pre-season's been really good this year. What have you been your main points you've been working on this year?
Probably definitely my fitness is one of the main things I've been working on, but also trying to enjoy it a bit. My first 2 years I was a bit nervous and just worried about getting my fitness better and
kicking onto the man of the mark.
Yeah, kicking on the man of the mark, and that just being relaxing and trying to enjoy my footy.
I like it.
Now, you got a few nicknames. One that comes to my mind is Turbo. Can you tell our listeners how you got that nickname?
It's a bit of a long story, but it's come from a good mate of mine, Chris Marston. It's not really one of my mates, so I just have to put up with him, but that's fine. No, it just come from him. It was a bit of banter at the club one day, and it stuck on me, unfortunately, and because I'm really fast as well.
Yes.
One of the better things.
You got a few others. Yeah. Can Crusher, the Interceptor, the
Governator.
Yeah. McLovin.
I don't know who calls him that.
There'll be a few more, probably. A few more will end up coming. So.
Steve, you got any gold for us, mate?
No, not at all. We're just happy you're in the studio here and put up a fantastic game on the weekend. Let's hope we see plenty more of it in 2013. Wish you all the best.
Yeah, I hope so.
We'll take a quick break and be back with the rest of the show.
Visit wceteamstore.com.au for all your official West Coast Eagles gear. We have anything and everything West Coast Eagles, including an exciting new range of 2013 apparel. By purchasing from the team store, 100% of the proceeds go back to supporting your club. Shop online today at wceteamstore.com.au.
Great that you've stuck with us. I don't know, a lot of people probably haven't. You've switched off by now. But those who have, look forward to this little segment that's going to be a weekly occurrence. Let me introduce you to this.
Time now for bold predictions.
Rightio, so just saying, throwing a few lines out there, seeing anyone can snag a winner, as Joke and Brendan would put it. I think I'll kick things off and break the ice. I've got here for my bold prediction. This is of the season. I've got Josh J. Kennedy finishing behind Buddy Franklin and Tex Walker for the Coleman. That's third. That's bronze. That's winning something, gentlemen.
How's that bold? You've gone for third.
No, I just didn't want to get ahead of myself.
Finishing behind. Is it 1 goal? Is it 15 goals behind, mate?
It's
just a prediction.
It's boldly broad prediction.
Well, we can only go up from here,
I've got
guys.
one or two. And I've also got Luke Shuey polling in the top 10 of the Brownlow. So have some of that.
Bolder.
That's better.
Cale Morton, why don't you just try and trump that then, mate?
Yeah, look, you've made one about the Coleman medal. I'm going to have to call that and raise it. I think Jack Darling's in for a massive year. I personally think he'll, heading into round one, he'll be one of the favourites for the Coleman medal. I think he's going to have kicked the most goals in the NAB Cup, and that's my bold prediction.
I like it. It has absolutely just poured all over mine. I enjoyed it.
Now, I came up with mine about 3 days ago, and it's in a bit of trouble now. It was Sherrod Wellingham, top 3 in the best and fairest this year.
Not bad.
But Trampoline's bounced that idea straight off the wall.
And on that note, I think we'll probably wrap up today's show. Any suggestions, any questions, comments or theories, please email social media man Matthew Jett. What are they doing?
Yeah, email's a bit old school. I think we'd rather them send it in via Twitter, which is at West Coast Eagles, or they can follow us on Facebook by just searching the West Coast Eagles.
Would absolutely love not to be called the Eagles Death Crew for 2013, so if anyone's got anything better, please tweet it in.
Look, if you listen to today's show online, tell all your mates about it, and let's get a few people listening.
Yep, thanks Mum, thanks for tuning in. All our mums, they've done well.
Signing off, Will Schofield.
Squawk!